Hey guys, hope everybody had a good Christmas. Sorry it took so long for me to post a second video, but the past couple weeks was just so crazy with Christmas and preparing for that I kind of took a little bit of a break. So yeah, so hope everybody had a good Christmas, and today we're going to be making a very incredibly simple pad thai that takes about 10 to 12 minutes to throw together. So if you watch to the very end of my video, I am going to have the ingredients scroll up at the end, so you will be able to see the recipe and the ingredients at the very end. But I am going to read you off from my recipe here exactly what I have next to me, so you guys kind of know what's going on. So first thing I did was I already heated my water to cook the noodles, because I know that sometimes takes a little bit of time. So my water's already warm. The noodles take about 10 minutes. They just have to get soft when it's time to put them in the water. So I have my water already warm, so if you notice me skip that step. When I start the recipe, normally at home what I do is I start the water right away. That way when everything else is prepped, my noodles are pretty well cooked. So before I do that, I'm going to tell you all of our ingredients that we have. Here I have about 1.5 packages of rice noodles, and the rice noodles that I use are the rice stick vermicelli, and they can be found pretty well in any grocery store. Okay, so that's what the package looks like. They have many different varieties. They have the really skinny ones, they have the thicker noodles, so it's just really preference. I kind of like the thicker noodles when having a pad thai. I have 1 block of firm tofu that has been crumbled, okay, and I just crumbled it with my hands. I have 3 garlic cloves that have been chopped. You can mince them, you can chop them, whatever your preference is. I have 1/2 cup of red onion. I have a cup of raw cashews that we're going to toast to put on top at the very end. Some people use peanuts. I have used peanuts before, but I like the taste of cashews, so we sometimes I kind of use whatever's on hand. So this time I'm using the cashews. I have a 1/2 cup of green onions that have just been sliced and chopped. And then I have my sauce, okay? So just gonna kind of stir it up because my coconut oil kind of hardened on top. Okay, so to do the sauce, I've already pre-made mine. What you're gonna need is a 1/4 cup of tamari, which this is what the bottle typically looks like. This is the one that I found, and I found this one at Zehrs. I have not been able to locate it at a No Frills or Sobeys. I'm not sure, possibly Metro has it. If those of you that have never cooked with tamari, it is a gluten-free alternative to soy sauce. So for those that want a gluten-free dish, they can use the tamari. Alternatively, if you don't have any on hand or you can't find any and you're in a pinch, you can use soy sauce, and that will be just fine. I've made it without tamari before, and it tastes, tamari and soy sauce are very similar tasting. They just one's gluten, one has gluten in it, and one is gluten free. So yeah, so a 1/4 cup of tamari. I put in 2 tablespoons of ketchup, a 1/4 cup of agave, a 1/4 cup of lime juice. You can add some sriracha hot sauce, to preference whatever you like in your hotness, whatever you would like for spiciness. 2 tablespoons of pure maple syrup, and a 1/4 cup of sunflower or coconut oil. And you can just, there's no particular order, I just throw them in the bowl and I just whisk them together to make the sauce. As you can see, my coconut oil has kind of hardened on the top. So yeah, so that's my sauce. Okay, so I've got my water that is hot and ready to go. So all I'm going to do at this point is throw the noodles in. You are going to need a bowl with water and ice, which you're going to toss the noodles in after they're cooked, so they don't continue to cook, because when if you've ever cooked with rice noodles before, you will notice that they tend to clump and stick together. So we want to prevent that from putting them in the cold ice water. And I've got my strainer and bowl ready to go. So We're gonna put that right in the water. And the water's not, it came to a boil and then I just shut it down so I know that it's hot. All right, and we're just gonna kind of break it up a little bit and let that sit for about 10 minutes. Okay, so you're going to need a wok or a non-stick pan of some sort. And you're gonna turn that heat on and coat the bottom of it with some olive oil. If I had to guess, I would say about 5 or 6 tablespoons of olive oil so we can saute the vegetables. So at this point, you're gonna throw in your onions. And your garlic. And you're gonna let that cook for about 2-3 minutes until you start to get a good simmer and it starts to get a little fragrant. While that is cooking in just a small pan, you can turn that on medium heat and throw in your peanuts or cashews to toast them. And as you can see, the onions are already starting to simmer and cook up there. So as that's cooking, you just kind of want to keep moving your noodles around like so they kind of don't clump together. If you like to set a timer for 10 minutes so you know that you're not overcooking them. But the water does definitely not have to be boiling, just as long as it's really, really hot and you turn the pot off, you're good to go. Okay, so that is sauteing. At this point, you're going to add your salt. I'm using the pink Himalayan because I love it. And just kind of to taste, I would say about 1.5 teaspoons of salt because you're going to get the salt from the sauce. Okay, so once you start to smell the onion and the garlic aroma, you are going to toss in, oh, I forgot at the beginning, the bean sprouts. This is about 2 cups of bean sprouts. So you're going to toss that in and give it a good stir. All right. And just want to make sure that you're kind of moving around your nuts that are in the pan so they don't burn on you. All right, so this is going to take very, very, very quick to kind of throw together. Okay, at this point you can toss in your tofu and cook for another couple minutes or so before you toss anything else in. And kind of give it a good stir, make sure it's all mixed in there. If you've never cooked with tofu, tofu takes up the flavor of whatever you're throwing in there. So it's really tasteless on its own and it's going to pick up whatever flavors that you're adding to it. If you did want to make this dish a non-vegan dish, you can definitely do so. I have made it before in the past with chicken and shrimp. And if you've ever made pad thai before, you add scrambled egg in at the end, but we're skipping all of that. So that's why we've got the crumbled tofu to give us the egg kind of texture and as a protein filler. Okay, so we're going to continue to move that around. Your cashews should start to get nice and toasted. As you can see, I'm going to kind of hold them up. All right, so you can see that that's what they should kind of look like. And you can probably shut your burner off at this point because they're pretty well toasted and ready to go. All right, so my noodles probably need a few more minutes, and at this point you can add in your sauce. And you're just gonna throw it in there. All right, make sure you get all the goodness out of your bowl. And give it a stir. And just, you can turn down the heat a little bit, all right, and kind of just let that simmer and cook. All right, I'm just gonna, yep, the noodle seems like it's just about done. So I'm gonna actually do this here so you guys can see what it is I'm doing, but normally we'll just do this over a sink. So all you're gonna do is you're going to drain your noodles into your strainer, like so. Alright. And they're gonna go right from the strainer right into the ice water. Alright. Now I'm gonna actually discard this hot water that just came off the stove, because when we strain it from the hot water or the cold water and ice, we're gonna throw it back in there. Okay, so I'm gonna turn that back burner off, and this is kind of should be what you have going on right now. Okay, I can kind of hold it up. You can see that's kind of what it should look like at this point. Okay, so now all you're going to do is you're going to take the noodles and you're going to strain it back. Now, if everything, I like to throw them into the cold water just to kind of shock them, but I have made them before where I transferred them right from the pot to the wok and skipped this step, but sometimes I find it clumps together, so that's why I kind of started doing this. So you're going to throw that in there and just mix it around. This dish will feed 3 to 4 people, depending how big your eaters are and if you're serving anything else with it. So at this point, you're going to turn your heat back up so the noodles are going to absorb a little bit of the liquid that is in there. And your green onions can go in now that your noodles are in. And give those another stir. Alright. I personally like to add the cashews at the very end on your dish. Okay, so all you're going to do is grab your dish and add in your noodles. You will notice that the sauce will start to kind of, the noodles will start to soak up in the sauce, so that's good. But if you want it a little bit more saucier, you can always make a little bit more, double the recipe. All right, and then you're going to add your toasted cashews and you're good to go. So like I said, this would feed about 4 people. And thank you very much for watching and liking and subscribing and sharing. And I also have a Facebook page called Healthy Vegan Mom that you guys can join. I'm gonna start posting some of my recipes on there that are not all videos, because I've been working on some really great ones the past couple weeks that I'm just going to throw on there. I have people from all around the world that have joined the group, so that's awesome, and you can just find it under Healthy Vegan Mama. So stay tuned. Hopefully I'll get another video posted this week. Take care.